Go ahead and close your eyes if you can. Smoothing out your forehead. Relaxing the corners of your eyes and your mouth. Unclench your jaw. And rolling the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to take a nice deep breath in together. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth, letting go. Another deep breath in through the nose. Really filling up your lungs, your diaphragm, all the way to the top. And exhale, letting go out the mouth. Gently opening your eyes if you closed them, coming back into the space. Welcome back to Mindful Moves with me, Daniela Jentsch, your host. It is beautiful to welcome you all into 2025. And today we are coming in together. We're coming in hot and strong. And I know that so many people, we get this underlying urge, sometimes pressure, sometimes just this feeling of wanting change in our lives. I don't know what it is about a new year, but so many people just decide, okay, this is it. This is where my life begins. This is when I'm going to change everything about my life. And I'm going to make the perfect plan and have the perfect set out routine. And 2025 is going to be my year. And while I love that passion and I love that energy, and I think it's so important to go into a year feeling strong and passionate and ready for change, I think it's super important to speak about the one fundamental that you need through this all. And that's why this episode is called Just Start. I'm going to share a little bit of where a lot of my life changed and why this topic is super important. I'm a big planner. I love planning. I love sitting down and having like a good sit down of everything in my life that I want to change, every habit that I'm not happy with, the type of person that I want to be and what habits she has. And while that is super, super good, it's good to have an idea, to take a step back, to have a different perspective on what it is, what's working for you, what's not working. I think it's great to have that awareness. I am someone, and I think that other people resonate too, I'm someone who gets stuck in that planning phase. I write everything down and I plan out this beautiful life, and it's almost like through the planning, I get these rush of endorphins as if I've already achieved it. And this is the difference between the people whose lives do change in a positive way and the people who get stuck. I was someone who was stuck for a long time. I just stayed in that planning phase, and also tied into that was this feeling of perfectionism. Like if it wasn't perfect, then it just wasn't good enough. And I think that this is the key aspect here. The only difference between people that you look up to, let's say they have what you have, whether it's a home, whether it's a certain type of career, maybe they started playing music and sharing their music to the world. Maybe they're creating art and just experimenting with that and showing that to people. Maybe they sat and started a podcast. I know for myself, I would always look at these podcast hosts and be like, oh my goodness, they have everything that I want. They are above me and they're on this pedestal and they are amazing. And I want to tell you right now that the only difference between you and the person or the people or the group that you admire is that they just took action. That is the only difference. Not one person has a far superior idea of what to do. It's often like in our heads, we think, okay, well, there's a certain group of people in the world that are just meant to achieve big things because they have the best idea. It is often not the person with the best idea that succeeds. I want to really ingrain this into you. It is often not the person with the best idea that succeeds. It is the person who takes action. It is the person who jumps out of the planning phase and goes into trial and error. And this is something that I learned in my job at work. I have a mentor there, and he would often say to me, I would often come to him and say, this project that I'm working on. I still need to do this, this, and this. And what about this, this, and this? And then we can move forward. He would often say to me, you need to just start. You need to just begin wherever you're at. There is so much more value in learning and failing and learning and failing and then failing again and learning from that, and then you succeed. There's so much more value in failing. There's so much more value in learning from what's working for you and what's not. But you will never know that if you are only doing it from an estimation point. If you're looking at something from, okay, this could happen, this could also happen, A, B, or C could happen. These are all guesses. You need to throw yourself in and you need to try and you need to put yourself out there. For example, when I wanted to start this podcast, it's been so many years that I thought to myself, oh, I would love to do this, but I need the perfect equipment. I need to have the perfect outline of what I want to speak about. I need to practice. I had so many things in my head that were basically my own way of blocking myself from doing something, because it is scary to put yourself out there. Let's talk about the root thing, right? The root thing for all of us, I would say most of us, the root, I don't want to call it an issue, but maybe the underlying factor for a lot of us why we don't take that step forward is because of the fear of being seen by others and the fear of failure. But my God, let me tell you something. When you overcome that and you just start putting yourself out there in whichever way works for you and what you desire, your whole life changes. Everything changes for you because you begin to learn from the steps that you're taking. You get direct feedback from your actions instead of guessing what your actions will bring. And this is everything. So I had that. I was stuck in the planning phase for so long. But if I had to really be honest, I was stuck in caring about what people thought about me. I was stuck in the fear of failure. I was so scared to put myself out there because if it wasn't perfect and it didn't come across perfect, then it would mean that people would judge me. And if one sits with that for a moment, right, without being cruel or too honest, we are only here for a tiny glimpse of time. It is so short and so quick. And I know that you can resonate because you, all of a sudden, 2024 is over and it's 2025 and it goes like this and the days begin to go faster and the years run faster. And it really rings true what our parents used to say, or they still say, it goes so much faster the older you get. Enjoy your time now. And they have such a great point because life is moving at a speed that we cannot control. It is going fast and it is this, that's what makes it so special, right? Is that it's not forever and ever and ever. So one day you're going to be gone off the face of the earth. Maybe you had kids, maybe they had kids, and maybe, in 100 years time, maybe they'll still remember you a little bit. Maybe your things will still be in their home, but let's say another generation from then. Your memory, your legacy, what people thought of you will vanish. It will completely vanish. And that can either scare you or that can make you feel so liberated. It can make you feel so free because who cares anyways? As soon as you start realizing that this is your life, this is the life that you were meant to live, and only you know what feels authentic to you. You know there's things in your life that you want to do and you want to try. And it doesn't have to be as big as putting yourself out into the world. It can be just doing something for yourself, maybe even trying a new hobby or changing a certain lifestyle habit. I know a lot of people who are stuck in circles of friends where they don't want to change anything about themselves because their friends would ridicule them or they wouldn't fit in as much anymore. At the end of the day, this is your life. Do you really want to get to your old age and think, wow, I have so many regrets because I was so scared what people would think of me? This is your absolute sign to just start. Whatever you want in 2025, it could be small, it could be big, you just need to begin. If you teach yourself that it's okay to just fail sometimes and just begin, you are ahead of so many people that you even understand. For example, there are so many amazing podcast hosts. I could have said to myself, well, it's already fulfilled. Everybody in the world who's supposed to be a podcast host is already there. There's no room for me. But it's about the intention that you do anything with, right? I did this for me. I did this to connect with the community. I did this to share because the value in what it brings to people, to myself, to my life, my purpose. I want to be someone who creates community where people can be raw and honest with themselves, and they can be honest with me, and they can share, and maybe a tiny glimmer of, okay, someone else is also going through a human experience. I'll be more vulnerable with the next person, because I personally believe that that's what's going to change the world, is that people just realize this front that we've put on for so many years, it feels like forever, that we've been societally taught to do, it's not real. It's not real. And we are actually just really messy human beings, and we go through so many things. And I think the more we speak about it, the more we're going to inspire each other, because we're going to realize that we're all the same. There are not people destined for a greater destiny than you. The only person who gets to decide that is you. You get to live your full potential. And I really believe that that's one of the reasons we're on this earth. We're here so that we can explore that. We're here so that we get this opportunity to step out of our comfort zone and push ourselves. But the only way that you step is by actually moving that first leg forward. You have to begin. You cannot stand still and think about taking a step for the rest of your life. Even if you're planning the most perfect step possible, exactly what muscles you're going to use, how you're going to step forward, which foot you're going to use, where are you going to stand. If you stand forever and you think about the perfect step, you're never going to take that first step. You need to physically just do it. I like to say, do before even thinking. Now I know, don't be silly with that and do crazy things and harmful things. I mean it in the sense of, if you have any sort of idea in your life that you want to change for 2025. I'm sure we've all gone on social media and we've seen so many people say 10 steps to changing your life in 2025, and you need to do this, this, and this for you to achieve your dreams. That feels like a lot of pressure, right? I want everybody to just, before I go forward, yes, we want to change. And to change, you need to take a step. But I also think that comes with acknowledging and being grateful for where you are right now. Because the person you are before you take that step is just as valuable as the person who is waiting on the other side. You do not need to have things, achieve things. It's a very Western idea that you need to have achievements, look a certain way, be a certain way, have certain accomplishments under your belt to be worthy. You are worthy just because you exist. You're worthy because you are alive. And once you grasp that concept and you really understand that there's nothing you need to do to be worthy in the eyes of anybody or yourself or whatever you believe in, that's when you're free. And guess what? When you're free, you start taking big strides. I started taking big steps in my life when I just realized I'm free. I don't have to impress anyone. I don't need to be hard on myself. I can be gentle on myself. I can love my way into the life that I so desperately desire. And it's really such a personal endeavor. It is so personal to yourself. It's not for you to achieve things or do things to show other people, look what I can do. I hope and I deeply send this intention out to all of you that whatever you decide, whatever life you decide to lead in 2025, may it be one that really resonates with you at your core. Because if it doesn't resonate with you at your core, it's not actually going to fulfill you. You're going to hit a certain goal or milestone and you're going to feel empty inside. And I think we can all say that we've done we've taken a path similar to that, where you think, okay, if I just achieve this, then I'll be happy. I'm sorry to break the news, but you won't be. You need to learn how to be happy and content in yourself now. 2024, even if you reflect on the year and you didn't achieve everything that you wanted to achieve, I hope that you send your 2024 version of yourself a deep hug and some love and say thank you for getting me to where I am now. You are worthy of praise and love, and you're just worthy in general by just existing. So I hope that with that energy, you move into 2025 knowing, number one, you are already worthy as you stand now. You don't need to change anything about yourself. You don't need to achieve anything. You are already worthy. Do you desire a different life? That's a whole different question. Number two, if you do, get out of the planning phase. You've probably been thinking of these changes for so long, not just the last week or so. Whatever changes you want to make to your life, just start. The smaller, the better, and the consistency is everything. It's not about going hard and fast and jumping into everything and changing 700 traits about yourself. Going from someone who sits on the couch all day to running marathons is a very big jump. It's a very, very big jump. So what about taking things small? I've already said this, that I love the brain and I love how the brain works. And the brain, if you just get to know and befriend your brain and how it runs, your life will just kind of figure itself out because you're supporting yourself. The brain likes small change. It doesn't even like any change. But if you make it small and you make it consistent, you basically train your brain to get used to it. And it doesn't feel like this huge, overwhelming, daunting feeling that you're jumping into. That's why a lot of us will say, okay, from January 1st, I'm changing my entire life. And we set so many goals, which is beautiful. I love the energy. But it's also not easy to maintain. And any lifestyle change you want to make, any change in your general life you want to make, you want to aim for small and consistent action rather than a whole rebrand of your life. I know that there's many videos out there saying rebrand your life in 2025. And while that's beautiful and nice and the idea is very sweet, that's not how the brain works. The brain is going to be so grateful if you can just make small daily promises to yourself. And with that, I really want you to understand that whatever you choose to change, take that first step. If you have to sit for a little bit and grapple with the idea of feeling worthy enough and asking yourself truly why you haven't started something or taken that first step, once you overcome that, maybe you sit with a journal for a little bit. Maybe you just reflect on it for a day or two. What is holding you back? What is the thing that is stopping you from taking the first step? Because I can almost promise you at 100% success rate that if you deal with that first, it is going to be so much easier to take that step. And I really, for every person listening or that I know in my life, I hope that you stop caring about what people think. It is the biggest reason why people don't live their lives, and the biggest reason why people say at the end of their life, I have so many regrets. And you are at the stage in your life where you don't have to be at the end of your life thinking about all your regrets. You are at the stage of your life where you get to decide, I'm moving forward with a new energy. I'm moving forward with a new light, and I don't care what people think in the best way possible. It's with a beautiful intention that you think that. And knowing that whatever you do in this lifetime, people are always going to have an opinion anyways. They really are. People are going to see what you do. And especially when you start succeeding, especially when you start elevating or changing your life, it is so interesting to see the people who rise up and support you and the people who just magically disappear out of your life. Because a lot of people, it could be on a subconscious level or on a conscious level, it's very difficult for people around you to be happy for you if you are doing big things in your life when they are playing small. It's very difficult to be alongside someone, for some people, who is achieving and is doing the things that they say they're going to do. It's very difficult for people to see that and be genuinely happy for them if they are really not doing much in their lives. You will have amazing people in your life who will rise up to that occasion and surprise you and be so supportive and so amazing. There might be people who don't, and that's okay. That is their journey. It is so important that you don't take anything personally. One of my favorite books in the world, The 4 Agreements, is, I think, how all of us should live our lives. One of them is don't take anything personally. That agreement is just so, so beautiful to me, because so often we think that everybody else, how they behave, even if someone says to you, hey, you started a podcast, I don't like it, it's stupid. That is still a reflection of them. It is not even about you. Whatever reason they might have, it's none of your business. That's how I treat life. How people feel about what I'm doing in my life that makes me happy is none of my business. I pretend that I have nothing to do with it because I genuinely don't. And I hope that you take that into your day, into your year, just remembering to just start. If you are stuck in the planning phase, just take the first step. It might not feel easy. None of what I share here feels easy because fundamentally we are used to doing a certain pattern our whole lives. But try something different. Try new. Step forward. Take that step. Do not think about taking that step for another year. Take that step now. And just remember, the light that you're constantly seeking outside of yourself is waiting to be acknowledged within. Have a beautiful start to the year. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for being here.